speaker up to the podium, I'd like to share a little bit about her. Reverend Margo entered the spiritual path after receiving sporadic messages in 1983. She was in Boulder, Colorado, and she received that her teaching career was complete and it was time to add spirituality into her life. Plus, she would be moving. Her mother's poor health brought her to San Diego, and her mother's transition established her back to living in San Diego and taking classes from spiritualist teachers and science of mind teachers. She was ordained as fraternal spiritualist in 1995. Her spiritual path has taken her to Russia and Mexico to give workshops. She currently speaks at spiritualist churches as well as a Center for Spiritual Living. She has had ongoing classes called Saturdays with the Angels for 19 years at Universal Spirit Center. And she recently identified herself as an explorer of divine love, peace, and abundance, believing that God can never be stagnant, and it isn't our destiny to be stuck or stagnant either. We are here to expand and stretch to unseen vibrations, to luxuriate in intimacy with the divine. So please help me welcome Reverend Margo Alora.
I like hearing that. So, I want to start out a little differently. Your name is Sharon?
Sharon,
Hi.
Hi.
So what you have brought today sort of begins, the word lecture is a funny word. What word can we use besides lecture? Talk,
Story.
share.
Like somebody said, conversation.
So, what you have done has added a dimension to what I can share and what we can receive. And what they're saying is that, first that was a message for you, and I was wondering how I was going to sneak it in, before the beginning. But it actually is for all of us. That each of us, being the risk takers, being the spiritual power that we are, that we're learning, to navigate, that we're learning to be reciprocal with the divine. I give and I receive, and the divine does that also. With all that, challenges are here this week. And what they're saying is, with you doing the bells, that you are opening up an awareness that we can go to our strength to that challenge. Now, my talk is about this a little bit, so it does have a segue in there. But what you're invited to be is this part of the pathway. Yes, I have a challenge. I'm not going to just, be there with the challenge, but I am going to be there with the strength. So these vibrations that you have given us remind us. So whatever the challenge is, if somebody, is not kind to you on the freeway and you're just about to go, think of this energy and this vibration and this what you have, brought to your body. And so you can say, oh, you, bless you, wait on me.
Bless you on your way.
Yes, so it's about having challenges and remembering that the strength that we encompass is that which we can go to first. What a nice, and okay. Which leads me to another part, not on this paper. So this morning, I'm ready to come to you, and I live in North Park, and I knew there was a race called the Hot Chocolate Race this morning, right near me. But I sort of believed they wouldn't keep me from you. They wouldn't put blockades right where I take to go to you. I got over there, and I couldn't turn onto the freeway. So I'm in North Park. So I turn around and I go to South Park. And that's not the way I go to you. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I better use GPS. on something. Now, there's a part of me, human part, the Margo part that goes, I don't want to go east, I know I want to go. So I don't listen to it, I drive a little further, and then I realize I better listen. So I look at the GPS, and it gets me onto 15, and easily, there's a sign that says National City, and there's a sign that says exit for your, well, I take that exit, what is it, Road 8? Yeah, I get on that, and here I am. So I'm going, I bet you there's a spiritual message in this. And certainly there is. It's like, Margo, or you all, let go a little bit. Knowing that Spirit's got my back and Spirit's got your back. And there's a wonderful saying, sometimes I have to say it before I believe it, which is, the universe conspires for my good. And I believe, I know that's true, not when something's happening to me, but I say it anyway, because now I know that as I know it, then that, changes the energy. So the Spirit conspired for my good today, and then I think had a bit of a laugh. It's like, Margo, you can go this way, or you can go this way, but you can get here, because Spirit has your back, and Spirit has your back. So that brings us to this talk. So when we think of education, and I used to be a teacher, an elementary school teacher, we think mostly that in school you learn to read and write, maybe a little thinking, but critical thinking isn't our best taught skill, in my opinion. But that's what we have. And reading and writing and spelling and computers, they're all a good part. They're a good part of education. There's another part that you and I know, and that's adding spirituality. Not necessarily religion, but spirituality, knowing that we are divine, knowing that God is here, knowing that our actions have consequences, and if they're a little hard, we can still hold hands with God and get through them. I've had angels cry with me because I've had some consequences. Now that doesn't, it doesn't stop there. Then it goes to me learning, me saying, okay, now how can I be different? How can I be a voice for the divine rather than a voice for, you did this to me and I'm doing it back. So this education to me is where we are now, with our children, with older people, with all people. Let's educate ourselves to know that first, enter something into your heart, and then you can enter it into your brain, which that's what we use our brain for, is to make things go into action. And with the heart and with this is an awareness that we're always holding hands with the divine. So in my case, it means try not to get stuck with one way, Margo, because there's lots of ways to get to where we're going. And they all include the divine. Now that's a good thing for me to remember. No, I want to do it my way. My way is a good way. And God's going, yes, my dear, it is. And what happens if you do it a little differently? I'm still there, you're still there. Let go a little bit. Let's go. That old saying, let go, let God. Still valid today. So, we're talking about challenges, and I'm going to share with you my challenge. So I've decided that I'm going to do podcasts. It's an opportunity to share differently, and I'm really excited. Now, have you ever made a decision and you weren't aware of some of the consequences of that decision? My consequences are that I need to get more comfortable with technology, and I need to stop saying I can't do technology. So I said, okay, I would love to do some podcasts. And I'm very privileged that when I say things, I do have people show up there saying, I'll help you, I'll assist. Now, this is something I want to admit because it's true. At first, I thought, well, I'll just pay somebody to do the technology. There must be somebody out there so much an hour and they'll connect this and they'll do this. And then as I was meditating one day, I heard this, not exactly a voice, but a thought came, now what are you going to learn from that? Can you learn more if you say, I'm going to, they wouldn't ask me to embrace technology first, that wouldn't be. Are you going to learn more if you just try a little bit with spirituality and with technology? Can they work together? Can you work them together? Can I work them together? So that's been my challenge. So then in meditation, I looked at my brain. And as an educator and as somebody who's lived a lot of years now, I like to know how my brain works and to look at yours a little bit. It's a fascinating thing. So I went to a room in my brain and I said, okay, I'm going to call this spirituality. I walked in, there was light, and it was a little bit like a closet in that there was a rod, and then there was a bunch of hangers on the rods, and then there was a bunch of clothes. And they were all color coordinated, and they were really, perfectly spaced. And that was my room of spirituality. And it was like a space to celebrate God, celebrate me, and the light was beaming. It was a lovely room. So then I said, well, let me go to the room in my brain that's technology. Uh-oh. It's dark. I look over and the hangers on this very dilapidated rod are hanging like this, and the clothes are falling off. It's a space you don't want to be in. That's my room. That's my brain. Technology. So, you know how we were talking a little bit about go to strength and then move? So, I got the heck out of that room. Boom, let me get out. And my friend who's here, Noelle, we talked about it. And I know that she's got my back. So I decided, well, I is a little funny word. We decided, my guides came with me and they said, well, we're going to go peek into that technology room with you. So, and then that's really sweet, isn't it? So I've got Miriam on this side and I've got Dancing Cloud on this side. We open the door and we sort of sneak in. And what I realized is I've been saying, I can't do technology. I'm too old, or I didn't get it. I'm giving all these reasons, but I'm not doing anything to add light to this room. So as we go in, first of all, we shine up the rod a little bit to see if it's strong enough to hold the clothes. We take 10% of the mess in there and fix it up, just 10%, and then we leave. That works for me. Now maybe you can do 30%, or maybe you can do 1%. But what I realized as I left that room of technology that my guides were saying, there's no comparison here, Margo. This is what you want, this is what you can do. We can always go back. Now the next day, I returned to the room. And I have a little bit of a feeling like, hey, I see a couple hangers that are in better shape. Hey, there's some light over there. Because me and God know that I'm the one that was into the darkness. So me and God can look at that light and make that bigger. Now, and also I have people like Noelle telling me, wow, you did a podcast, you did it really well. So I have all this, this reinforcement. What I am offering to you is we've all got challenges. and perhaps a different way of looking at them. So before we leave the room that day, I noticed that it's a privilege for me to get to work on my challenges. I'm 83 years old. What a wonderful chance, to grow a little bit, to let myself know and other people know that you can grow, you can expand at any age, at any time. And my guides, they love this. It's like, hey, you're fun to be with, Margo. Let's try it. Now, sometimes they have to cover their ears. Because I have some bad habits around when I make a mistake. But I'm learning, 10% at a time. They might think that I should increase that. But this is about spirituality being a tool of our lives. And that tool is for all of us. The reciprocity that I have with my guides, I never just say, please do this for me, and then forget about them. Because the energy is best when it's reciprocal. So I thank them. I ask if there's anything I can do. Perhaps I can sing a song. Perhaps I can say a prayer. So the reciprocity is always going. And the learning is something that I'm committed to. Not perfection. I just don't think I'm going to get there this lifetime. But you know what? Who's more fun? The perfect person or somebody who's learning? Come on. So, after I have sneaked lots of peeks in my technology part of my brain, I at least know that the technology is a part of me. And it may never be as strong a part as my singing ability or my speaking ability. But it can be the side part of me that gets me into more podcasts. I'm just about ready to do my third one. Yeah. So our challenges aren't there to stop us. They're an opportunity to grow. Our challenges are actually bring a little life into our lives, don't they? Energy. And what I'm aware of is, I got to tell you this one thing. I'm getting out of bed and I'm saying to God, this is embarrassing, but this is true. I'm saying to God, well, God, I love you and appreciate everything, and I know that you can't help me with this technology because you're just into spirituality. Where did I learn that? I did. I said that out loud, and then after I said, well, I don't know if it was out loud. It might have been, because I live alone, so I can talk to myself. But whether I was out loud or not, I remember thinking, that is a crazy thought, that I can limit God? That's a crazy thought. And then I swear, I heard God laughing. She says, yeah, you do. You put limitations on. They're sort of funny. There is no limitation on the divine. And maybe the sooner I learn that, the better. I don't know. Because God doesn't mind laughing, and I got it. It's like, uh-oh. Now, the form of God in that case might be to call my friend Noel and say, I got this problem, please help me. That might be the form that God takes. But there is this divine energy that loves us and that is there to assist us. And that is what I like to share with you. As I came in this morning, I can tell you the energy in this room is wonderful. It embraced me. It nurtured me. And it reminded me that whether I get lost or not, whether I get into my little ego, not like, no, they can't keep me from that exit, whether I get into that or not, that this is the energy of the divine, and it loves us. It loves us. And it knows that our challenges are here to assist in our growth. Assist us in that dynamic changes that we're here to make in ourselves and in others. We're here to hold hands with God. We're here to remember where God lives. Nobody can put God somewhere else for me. They just can't. God is the divine, and it is here with us. So, if I get stuck and unable to call on my guides, specifically the ones that I'm used to, what I can do is call on new guides. So I have a guide now that's showing up, and he lived to be 50 years old, and he died in the AIDS epidemic, and he was dynamic. He was changing a lot in his gay world and in the world. So today, I invite us to find some new guides. Old guides are great, but let's remember that the divine is always changing and inviting each of us to change. So today, I'm inviting new guides to be with me, to look at the challenges that are here. Terry would have liked that I'm trying with technology. He would have liked that. He would have said, well, he might have said it's about time. But besides that, he would have been proud. He would be proud of me. So with this, I wanted to share one more thing. It's funny how I say to people, used to say, spiritual technology is frustrating because, I just learned to do one thing on my phone, and then computer makes me learn something else new, and I just feel like I'm always behind. Things are changing. Do you recognize any of those?
Yeah.
Well, then I started thinking, and in meditation, it was pointed out, spirituality is changing. My spirituality is changing. Things are changing. Now I do look for guides in a different way. Yes, now I do tell more people about my spiritual gifts. Yes, I invite other people to go ahead and see what their gifts are. Spirituality is changing too. Oh, Margo, now I can't say, technology is different. No. I wonder if God has laughed at that too. I'm sort of laughing now about that. So our gifts are enabling us to laugh. So here's a question that I am leaving you with because it'll help you look for a challenge. And isn't it nice when you're looking for it and the challenge isn't looking for you? So the question is, what do you know? No. What do you not know that you don't know? So mine is, what do I don't know what I don't know? It's a good one. It can help you expand. What do I don't know that I don't know? That's a place to then hold your hand out and say, God, hold hands with me on this one. Where are we going? Where can we go? Where can I expand with the divine energy? So, in conclusion, remember that you're a light bearer. And our challenges are opportunities to share our life. Thank you.